ఏంటి ఇంతకన్నా ఏంటి బయట బయట
Please, all of you, good morning to one and all. Please stop your mics. Mute yourself kindly. Sorry for the delay. I had gone for a lunch and it got delayed. I hope all of you understand. And there is some internet problem also. So all put together accumulated for another 15-20 minutes delay. I hope all of you are able to listen to my voice, right? So I'm just using different platforms on different days. Good morning to everyone. Right, you should be able to see the screen. So I think this is good enough. All of you are able to see the screen, I think. So any thought is there, probably you might have responded. Yes, sir. Thank you. 312, 312. Okay, understood. Okay, any questions or issues, suggestions? Is my voice clear? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Right. Okay, so far, all of you are familiar with writing small programs in Java. You know about how to read data of different data types, do some processing, display the final result. So that kind of small programs and logic, I think all of you are slowly falling in line. You know about how to develop an independent class, how to store certain information, and how to develop methods, how to call them, right? So these are the different skills that you are slowly getting used to. And it is also announced, in fact, that the first mid examination will be starting from February 15. Mid one starts from 15th February. So that week, basically, that entire week, or maybe 3 days, in case every day 2 mid exams. I don't know still the complete details, but what is announced is that the mid exam starts from 15th February. So that means we have about 2 weeks there. Please kindly mute yourself. 2 weeks there, and here. That's all. 2 weeks in February. So we are already, this week is over. So another 2 weeks time is there we have. So according to this, if we think of maybe a little bit of database also we might have. Let us see like how much we can actually cover. I think we should know what kind of examples and all that. Okay, so yesterday we have seen linear search and binary search. We have written there, but nothing we did there as a part of it. Linear search and binary search. And some sorting techniques also probably we can think of. Today, let us see what we can actually do it. Essentially, all these examples will work on arrays. We'll work on array of data, and then do something there and all that. So we are slowly building the context, what kind of program that we are going to write down and all that. Okay, So to begin with, let us actually go for linear search, simple linear search on a data. So linear search means what data do we require here? Whenever you are searching there, you require an array of items. Array of items are there, and you want to search for something, an item. You want to search for an item in array of this thing. These are the parameters that you require, right? You are given an array with so many items. You are also given another item, and you are asked to actually search for that item in the array of items. And then tell whether, in case it is there, if it is there, return the index of that particular item, index within the array where that item is located. If it is there, return the index. If it is not there, return -1. -1 return, you can say, return -1 if item is not in the array. Otherwise, return index where item is present, where item is present in the array. So probably what we will be doing is we will write a small method. We'll develop a method, right, for linear search. Linear search. That means what you will be doing, you will be comparing the item with each one of the items present in the array. You will compare first the item with, like let us say, with the 0th index in the array. If they are matching, then you return 0. If it is not matching, then you search in this next item. Index 1, index 2, index 3, and so on, all the items within that, right? So that is a simple logic that you can think of. So for this, naturally you require some data, and the final item also may be there as a part of this. So let us think of developing a small solution for that. I think all of you will fall in line as a part of that. Let me also verify whether it's there. Like definitely Java compiler might be there. Actually, I'm working on my friend's machine, so Java compiler is there, no issue. No issue there as a part of it. Okay. Now let me create a new followed by Java program. So this is the actual thing. So we'll say public class name. Class name is linear search, right? I will give L search, right? L search is the name of the class, basically. Normally class names, they all begin with capital letters and all that. I will say L is a capital letter. L search is the name of the class. Okay. So now what do we want to do it? We will develop a small static method. So we'll say public static. And then the method returns the index where the item is present. So that means it returns an integer value. So int. And after that, the name of the method. L search is the name of the method. Name of the class is capital L search. Name of the method is small L search. L search of. What it requires, we need to pass on the array that contains the actual items and the item that you want to search. Probably you want to search in an array of, let us say, integer values. Array of integer values. So we can say int followed by, we can say integer array like this, integer array. And then the name of the parameter. Parameter name is items, let us say. Items is the name of the parameter. And then you want to search for an item, right? So the second parameter is going to be like this. Then curly brace begins. So this is the actual signature of the corresponding what you call L search. Now in the Java language, how many items are there? What is the size of the array is always known. Is always known. But the question is, how many items are there within that is not known, actually, strictly speaking. If you think that the entire array contains all the items, then these two parameters are good enough. If you think that entire array contains all the values, then you don't require additional parameter. But sometimes what happens is, the array that you are likely to pass on may contain more what it is space than the actual items that are actually stored. In which case you also may have to pass on one more parameter. How many items are there within that? Also sometimes is a good suggestion. Is a good suggestion in fact. So that's why probably it's a good thing to also pass on one more parameter, which is going to be the size of that, right? Or you can say n. N will always be less than the actual size of the array. So how many items are there present within that particular array? The first few items you want to search basically. So that gives the n value also. Please mute yourself slowly. Every day one person or the other coming to the same mode. Okay. So view here, it is actually displaying indent guide, whatever. Unnecessary. It is displaying. Okay. So this is the actual code now. So you are actually passing now three parameters instead of two. Actual array that contains items. The array size may be much bigger than the actual items. That is the assumption. And then item that you want to search, and how many items that you want to search. The first n items, that is what you mean by. The first n items only will be searched. After that, even if there are elements, you will not be interested in searching them. That is the idea. That is the actual idea. So if you want to give a kind of a comments to this, what you are actually doing is search for item in the first n items of array. N items of array. So that's the actual comments. Now is the straightforward, right? So you assume that always n value will be less than that particular thing. So what we do is, let us have a kind of a local variable. So int I, index variable I, and then for I equal to 0, I less than n items you want to search, I plus plus. So now what are you going to do? You compare each one of them. If item, how do you compare? By using double equals. If item double equals what? Items is the name of the array. Items of I. Items of I. If both of them are equal, so what do you mean? We could find the item in the ith index. So you say return I. Return I. Otherwise nothing. So that way you can say that probably you don't require even this curly brace, but it is always a good idea to keep a curly brace there and all that, no issue, curly brace closes. So if it is there, it returns, otherwise it goes back, increase the value of I by one more time, and so on like that. So if it actually comes down, right, after comparing all the n items, it will come down only when item is not matching with any of those n items. Then we know that it is not there. So you say return -1. Return -1. So this is a simple linear search that you want to look for. So these two we can just simply just think. Okay. In today's class, like we will only read the actual item, but the array of items probably we will initialize, right? You can initialize like that. So for example, how do you initialize an array instead of every time entering the data Same fixed data only you will be having for some reason. Int followed by like maybe items, curly brace this thing is equal to. How do you initialize them? It is going to be by using the curly brace begin. And then here you can specify 12, 45, 73, minus 5, and then let us say 3, and then 120, 67, 89, something like this. So randomly you are initializing the data in this particular manner. 3 plus 3, 6 plus 2, 8 numbers are there. 8 numbers are there as a part of it. Now we will only pass on, let us say, as a command line argument, we will be passing on the actual item that you want to search. Actual item that you want to actually search. So for example, now, so what we will do, so you are likely to get something there, right? So int followed by item. And this item is equal to, you are going to get this from the command line argument. So you say, and then because it's going to be string there, you want to convert it. So you say integer dot percent of args of 0. Args of 0. So you are getting the item that you want to search through the command line argument. Because that happens to be a string, you have to convert that string into integer. So you are doing that particular job. And after that, we will just simply search there and then print the index of that particular thing. So here we will say int followed by search result, right? Search, let us say status or search result or something like this. Strictly speaking, like, okay, so SR like this. So now we can say that SR is equal to what? L search of, look for within the array called items, and you want to search for the item. And how many items? So 3 plus 3, 6 plus 2, 8. 8 is going to be the corresponding thing. So like this you are going to invoke it. Items comma, item comma, 8. And after that we can always print system dot out dot printf of. Probably in case it returns -1, you have to display that it's not there. Please mute yourself, please.
కాకపోతే అది వాడుతుంది
Every day somehow, right? So we are unable to follow the rules. I want to see at least one day without this disturbance. Thank you. So system dot out dot. So now if, right, if SR is equal to -1, we know that it is not there. So you display a kind of a message for that. If SR equal to -1, then we say that system dot out dot printf of item, right? So item means percentage D is not found in the array. New line. And then what is not found? Item is not found. What you have looked for is item. Always the messages must be very clear. So you should think of what to give and all that. If that is the case, this one, else it is there. You could actually identify. So you would actually identify. So if you want, you can give it this way: system dot out dot printf of percentage D is found. Is found at the index, right? At index so and so, at the index number so and so in the array. New line. So what is found? Item is found at the index. What index? That index number is SR. What it is, search result or something, some variable name you can always give it, no problem, right? So that's it. This is the actual you have thought about that it is a simple program where the array of items to be searched is already initialized. So just like that. Otherwise, if you are asked to actually read even those array of items, you should develop the corresponding logic and read all the items, whatever, right? So we are exploring different possibilities. So if whenever you are given a specific question, you should always think of writing the corresponding answer. So this is a simple like thing. Now you have to save it. Save it into some folder. Let me save it into desktop or something like that. I'm sitting with my on my friend's this thing. SVLN is it? I can create a folder otherwise. On desktop, I'm creating a folder with the name TSR. And then give a name to this. Name of the Java file should match with the name of the class. And the name of the class is lsearch. Lsearch dot this thing. Save it. So now go into this particular thing. But font size may not be that good for you. So let me change that. Properties, edit, mark all properties. Font size is so and so. Bold fonts. Layout. So it's a old style actually. Okay, so let me first select background. Background can be some blue color or yellow color. One of them will be interesting, blue color. This is good enough for the time being. Text color is some color is there. This is all right. So some are from EEE background, unable to understand the class. See, this is what I've been asking, right? So you can't leisurely raise a question at the end of the semester. Is it that for the first time you are coming to know some, and don't say that some and all that. Whoever has a problem, kindly raise your voice. Uma Sampath need not talk on behalf of other students. So if there is a student, you have an issue, raise that. All of you have the freedom to ask or raise a question. Okay. So if you have followed the previous classes, there should not be any difficulty in. So then you say so. See, be straightforward, right? Always be simple and straightforward. I like that. But if you beat around the bush, it takes time to understand such people. Okay, so if you have any issue, raise that. And that issue must be raised at the earliest possible time. So otherwise, all this time is a waste, right? So many classes we have taken. Now all of a sudden you say that, no. So where to begin now? Where to begin? What do you mean by that? What is that you have not understood? And what is that you have understood? Right? So what is your background? Background is not, that's why in the very first class itself, you have to raise that. I have been asking in every class, am I slow? Am I fast? Is it good enough? Right? Beyond this, we cannot do much. Anyhow, so let me slowly go into these things like changing the font size and all that. So this is good enough, somewhat, the layout. Maybe okay, good enough, kind of. So anyhow, so the program is written now. I am just trying to compile it to begin with. Naturally, we need to go to the desktop to compile this program and all that. Desktop is desktop. Copying is this not? No. Naturally, it doesn't actually. See command prompt. Only these things are there. Desktop full path name, right? Users SVL and desktop. Okay. Users SVL and desktop. Yes, right.
Yesterday I called you in the morning. Suresh.
Whom do you want? Whom do you want? Huh? Narasimha is not me. He has gone out. So he might come another half an hour or something after. Right. Java C followed by L search is the program that you can compile. Java followed by L search is this one. And then along with the command line argument, you can actually supply, as you can see, how are you running? Java followed by the name of the class. And then, because we have written there, assuming that command line arguments, like that way you are actually developed. So here you are considering the input is taken from the args array. This is the main method. So using the main method, you can actually supply the data from the command line argument. Anything that you are passing on from the Java followed by the program name followed by that will come into args. So we have already seen so many examples. This args will contain all the arguments that you pass on from the command line listening. And in this example, you are assuming that only the item will be passed here, whereas the actual items is already prefixed. It is already every time it's the same items. So that's how the problem you are considering. Otherwise, if you want to read, you can also read anyhow. So it's okay. So now you have to pass on the corresponding thing, some data. For example, here, so specify 23, for example, and then this thing. So 23 is not found in the array because, as you can see there, so data is, so within this 23 is not there. Whereas if you give 73, for example, 73, you just simply give it, run the same program with 73, then it's going to say that 73 is found at the index number 2 in the array. Index number 2, right? You can easily see here 0th index, first index, second index. This is there in the array, items array at the second index. Right? It is able to locate the corresponding thing. So, for example, right now, only you are calling with all this with 8 items, whereas you add on later on with 23 and 100, something like this. 2 more numbers you are actually adding. There are 10 items are there within there, but actually when you are making a call onto that, so another 10 minutes time is there, no issue. So when you are making a call onto the actual L search, you are only passing on 8 here, meaning that you search only the first 8 items. First 8 items only it will search. Even though 23 is there in the array, but not within the first 8. It should say that it is not there. It's not there within that. Right? So for example, now you save it to begin with. First of all, save this thing. I just saved the program. And when you make any changes, you have to again recompile. So we have compiled. So, and then you want to run it. You want to run this and then say this thing. Still, it is not found in the array because it is searching only in the first 8 elements. You want to search for even 100 also, still 100 also is not there within that. Whereas, if you want this to happen, then you will have to say here, right, instead of 8, you say that search for 10 elements, all the first 10 elements, right? And then save it. Come back to this and then recompile. Every time you make changes to the program, you have to recompile. Now you say Java followed by this, 73 is there, 23 also is there, is found at the index number 8 in the array. It is there in the index number 8 in the array. So like this, the program, small programs can be developed. The only problem is right now, I'm in a dilemma now, actually, even though a question is raised, but the question is not with respect to what we are covering, but you are raising for the first time that you say that somehow I am EEE student. So that cannot be a question. Question should be, you have to make an effort to try to understand. And then in the process, what you have understood, what you have not. If you start interacting, then I can actually begin at a place where it is going to be of some help to you, whatever. So I don't know like how to actually help you at this point of time. After covering about 4 or 5 classes. Anyhow, but still I want to try. I want to help all of you, provided you make some effort from your side. Where to begin? What kind of assumption that can I make? Right here, it's a simple logic only. One thing is, once you are very open to learning, then just try to observe what we are actually writing. What is the pattern? Right? So there is some syntax here. Just like the textbooks have a certain pattern, like books lo emuntayi manaki, you will find a number of chapters. Every chapter will contain a number of sections. Every section will have a number of paragraphs. Every paragraph may contain a number of sentences. Every sentence will have a number of words. Like that, there is some structure, right? Once you understand the structure, it becomes easy. Similarly, a Java program structure, what is the program structure basically? You will always be developing classes only. A class is nothing but a collection of certain information, data items, and the methods that will work on that particular this thing. It's not that like whenever I say something, immediately you are likely to get the entire thing. Bits and pieces, slowly with your understanding, as you move along, your understanding should improve, right? So with this example, you can see here, public, it's a keyword. There are certain keywords that have got some special meaning. So in order to create any class, the keywords like public is helpful so that the class can be used by any program and all that. Class is a keyword. This is the name of the class. So you are building your own class here by name LSearch. This is the name of the class. This name can be anything. Now this LSearch is a class that contains within this what? There are 2 methods basically. This is a method. This is a static method. Public static int LSearch on this entire thing, starting from this curly brace to the corresponding closing curly brace. In between, you have all those statements and logic, everything. This is one static method. This is another static method. This is another static method. And always remember, whenever you are developing a class that you want to run that as a program, then that class must contain the main method. It should contain the main method. That's why the signature of that main method is public static void main, because this main method returns nothing. Void means nothing. And it is a static method which can be executed or called through the name of the class. And this main method takes a parameter like an array parameter, array of strings. all those arguments what you pass on from command line, those arguments will come here in the form of individual items or words. Right? So this is a very simple, what you call, array. Item, int items array name is equal to, you are initializing this. And you are trying to search for an item which is going to be supplied as a command line argument. And that argument is available in args of 0. Because that is an integer, so you are now converting that string that is available in the form of string of digits. You are converting that into an integer by using integer dot parseInt of this. So this is a standard mechanism by which you can convert a string into an integer. There are different other ways also, but we have already talked about all these things. Unfortunately, you are raising an issue now on this particular thing. So I don't know where to begin, where to end. And if I repeat and start from those things, people who are already familiar will have problems there and all that. Anyhow, so you may have to work a little bit more. So instead of raising a question simply like this, you start working on them, right? So already in the very first few classes, I talked about even some of the sites like beginner's book or something like that, right? So I'm expecting all of you to work before attending the class and all that. Anyhow, so this here you are trying to convert that item that you want to search, which is available in the form of string of digits, into a number, and then that's going to come here. And then you are declaring another variable, SR or whatever. And here you are actually calling the method. So developing the method is different. So this is only you are actually building the LSearch method, the actual logic about how to search for an item within the array of items. This entire, but this code will not be executed. This code will be executed only when this method is called. This LSearch method is called. Whenever you run it, what will happen? Always whenever you run any class, the main method will begin. The execution will begin from here. Even though this is coming in the beginning, but this execution will not happen. This is only the logic here. So only the main method, so only the main method is going to begin. So it starts from here and initialize this items array with all these items. And then initialize this item with, right, whatever that you pass on. And then this is a variable, and then it executes this. So this is the time when you are calling the LSearch, and you are passing on these parameters, items parameter, item, and then SR. Here no square bracket and all that, as you can see. What are you doing? You are actually passing on the entire array. Then you will be mentioning only the name of the array. Whereas whenever you are accessing the individual items and all that, this is the syntax for that. The meaning of this is, right, ith item within the items array. Index notation, already we have explained. Right, so when you are making a call onto this now, this items is initialized with this particular thing. Right, these names can be anything. Right, for example, you can say that this is going to be marks, assuming that you are actually searching for marks and all that. So here, this may be a mark kind of it. Then you can say that here, this is going to be marks. You are actually passing on the marks array as an argument to that. What will happen in such a case? This variable parameter items will be initialized with this marks. Right? This marks array is initialized into the array called